Hi folks, glad you could join me today. Welcome to another watercolour demonstration. I'm Stephen Cronin and this is a little fisherman here by the water's edge, sat down, casting his line into the water, just waiting for a bite there, sat on that corner. Tried to get a few trees and things reflected in the water, a few greens and whatnot. So before I do this one, let me show you the colours I've used. So on the palette we've got ultramarine, lemon yellow, these are in crimson, raw sienna and light red. So just the five colours for that one. Brushes, most of it's done with the large Ron Ranson hake. And then I did all the trees with this sword brush, which I'm currently experimenting with as a replacement for that number 3 rigger down there. I've got to see how I get on yet. I'm not sure yet which way I'll go. And then just this tiny little brush for doing little figures. If you ever want any reading material, I've got the books on Amazon as well, if you just check one. Lots of step-by-step photographs guiding you through each paint in there. They're available in softback, hardback and Kindle, so you'll see the description down below. Let's kick it off with some clean water then on this 15x11 Fabriano. And then I'm going to start with a bit of alizarin, ultramarine. Let's just pop some of that in, right the way down to the bottom. Then I'm going to go into the lemon yellow and just put a bit of, this is sort of just general background foliage. It'll hopefully make sense as the painting develops. Brush some in and a little, this will serve as the reflections as well. Right then. Bit of light red in there, had a bash, a bit of colour. Now just working out the horizon line, just something like that. Let's clean the brush. I want to go back to a greeny colour. Bit of lemon yellow in there. Bit of raw sienna. Just varying it slightly. Ultramarine. Just general, just varying the greens now as I go along. What I might do is take me a brush here. A bit of alizarin, bit of blue, bit of yellow, and I'm just going to start popping in a few distant trees. This is a sword brush I'm sort of experimenting with at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to get on with it. I haven't decided yet whether I prefer this or the rigger brush. I'm just playing it by ear at the moment. There are a few trees over here as well. Big trunk in there. That's a big reflection. Right then, back to just soak that water up a little bit. Clean the brush again. Back to the lighter colours. Lemon yellow, bit of raw sienna. I'm just going to fill in this little bit here. Just looks a little bit bare. Bit of light red there on that grain there, just on the far banks. A few shadows in there. I mean, the darker tones I'll come in on, I'll add to them later as well as the paper dries. I'll go on a little bit stronger. Let's take a few more trees going in there. A bit more blue on the brush. So one up there. I'm going to flick a few twigs and branches and things going everywhere. Pulling down the reflections at the same time as well. It's so easy to forget when you're doing it. And then while I've got less paint on the brush, I can just flick in these little bits of twigs and things that are growing up. Don't forget those reflections as well. Soak up some of that down the bottom. Let's just pull it tight so it's flat against the bit of plywood I got leaning against my easel, and I'll be good to go again. So a few more darks under there. What I'm going to do is give that a quick spray. Let's get back to a lighter colour. I'm going back into that raw sienna. More raw sienna up there, a bit of lemon yellow as well. Get the two mixed together. Into the light red down there, very, very strong colour. So just being careful. Got a bit of a bank here, foreground bank. I'll strengthen that in a little bit. Back in that lemon yellow. Again, blue, bit of green, bit of alizarin, bit of light red, general sort of dark colour. And I'm just going to make a few more trunks. I want a big one there that's sort of dominating that section. That's going to go up there like that. Have a slightly smaller one to the side. Just put something in there, that gap there, pull down that reflection. A few twigs and things. Right, I'm just going to do something with that water now. So I'm just going to use a damp brush, just a clean damp brush. Let's just squeeze the water out. So I've just got a sort of chisel edge tape now. And what I'm going to do is let's just pour some colour into it. That water just looks a bit boring at the moment. Right, let's get back into some darks. I'm doing red, bit of blue. Bit of alizarin in there as well. Some shadowy bits. Some over here as well. There's a little bit of land actually over here. Some of that colour over this side as well. As the paper dries, it will just go on a little bit stronger. Trying to vary the colours I'm going along. I might just flick a few things up from here actually. Let's get something going up from there, just like a few reflections in. It's hard to resist. I'm running out of hands. Hang on, if I just grab the corner of that. I'm just going to have a few little rocks and things. A little bit darker. And that, something up there as well. All these little marks, just keep adding out lots of little details. And then as the paper dries, these stronger tones will come right to the foreground and push those darker, the lighter tones further back, help create that sense of depth. I'm deliberately pushing some of these out into that light area. Following a few of those reflections as well. Something stronger just in there to fill that gap. I need something darker there just to push those lights back. Getting that reflection. Now this paper will be a bit drier down here now, so let's just go on a little bit stronger. See now we're starting to get somewhere with this foreground darks. I'm just whacking it down there like that, just trying to get sort of random strokes. Flick a few of those up. Probably overdone those foreground reeds a little bit. Pop some over on there. Don't need to put them in, just erase them with a bit of tissue. What I can do as well is use this card. I was going to just scrape a little bit on the left hand side as well, but to do that first I need it flat against the board. And just some little things just down here. Try not to overdo it, trying to be as subtle as I can. A bit of foliage in the tree I think. So what I'm going to do is just squeeze a bit of yellow out onto the tray, not too much. And then just squeeze the water out. I just want a dry brush here on, so scuff the hairs up as I'm drying it so that the hair's going all over the place, something like that. And then if I just take a little bit of that yellow, just in the corner, something like that. I can just pop some of that on. A bit of that down there as well. Perhaps on that side as well. It's so hard to resist. It's so easy to overdo it. It's getting that sort of balance. Just a hint of it down here, I think. I'm going to make some of these red. These red reeds, I think, down the foreground. So a bit of red over there as well. Just scrape a few things in as well with fingernail. Just a few little marks here and there. Don't know what they are, just random details. Get some darks. Just want some darks down by the base of the tree. I'm just doing a bit of red, bit of blue. There's a few shadows down there. Just strengthen that. Darks down there as well. So I just want a little focal point, so I'm going to just switch to the little rigger brush, tiny little brush. I'm just taking a bit of blue. I'm just going to stick like just a little fisherman just sat. I don't really want him. I'm just going to. Let's do him in red, I think. Sat down, I've got his legs coming up like that. He's actually, does that look right? Pop a little head on. He sat down on something. I'm just going to blend that in. Something like that. And then we got like just a narrow. Just a narrow rod where we come in, something like that. So we just sort of sat on the banks. And then I'm going to need some sort of reflection. Just a hint of a reflection. That just gives a little focal point to it all. So all that's left to do now, I think, I'm just going to stick my name in the corner and call that one done, I think. Just pop it down there. So let's stick a mount on it and see what it looks like. So here's our finished painting. So if we go in and have a closer look at it. Very simple sky, just left it light there between the trees. And then brought some of that light down into the river below. Try to get a sort of vary the greens, lots of lemon yellow, bit of raw sienna in there, bit of ultramarine, and then use the sword brush to brush in all these various sized trees and trunks and branches and twigs and things. You see the variation in tonal from the strongest tone. Maybe that could have been a little bit darker, maybe some of these, through to the light ones right in the background. That'll create that sense of depth. Dry brushed a little bit of lemon yellow into the tree to add a bit of foliage in there, and then also put that into some of the darker areas as well, just to break him up a little bit. Try to be as subtle as I could. It's so easy to overdo it. Just a hint of a few reflections there before we come into the foreground. Scraped the odd rock here and there. Tried to resist the temptation to go mad with scraping the card. And then we've got our little fisherman. This time I've done him sitting down. I don't think I've ever painted one sitting down before. Just sat on his little bucket there waiting for a bite. And just a hint of a reflection below. So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoy that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Remember, try and see if you can join me over on Patreon if you get the chance. All the books are on Amazon, the paintings on eBay. You'll see all the links in the descriptions below. So until next time, keep practicing. If you've got any questions, please ask, and I'll see you again soon.